Hi everyone, this is Alysia, the female half of the Dream Team. So I just finished up another gaming pack. So this one is called the Moonlight Mysteries, the 5 pack, and it's basically got 5 different games in it. And so there's a lot of special stuff in this one that I wanted to share some of the highlights in this one instead of just doing my usual short and stuff like that. So basically, this one I give it an 8 because there's a lot of good storytelling in it. And basically, this one allows you to unlock achievements. It also gives you options for playing alternatives if you wanted, instead of looking for the hidden objects yourself. You can do a matching game and stuff like that. So let's look over some of the ones that I've seen online for this particular game, which is actually kind of cool. I mean, like I said, it's really interesting. I mean, so I've already got it muted and stuff like that. So this one is from Enignmatis 3, The Shadow of Karahala. And this is the third one in that series. So we'll start out with one of the first things in this game. So it starts out where you're playing as the detective and she's working with her partner Rick, and they're in a plane. And one of the things you have to do in this game is basically you have to break free of the ropes so you can basically just get out. So that's actually kind of interesting to see how they do that. So basically, it's where you see her with the pickaxe kind of thing, and basically, what you're trying to do is just get out of the break. So as you can see, everything's blowing around. You got to grab the ropes, you got to grab the harness, and so you can climb out. That's one of the features in this game that really stands out, is because in this one you have to do a lot of climbing. It's very interactive. If you take one false step, then you could fall, and so that's one of the main things that stands out in this one. So, like I said, there's a lot of that cool stuff in there. So we can skip ahead a little bit more. So as you can see, there's some puzzles in here. So if you chose not to do this one, some of them they force you to do it, but the cool thing about it is the skip button on here, which is really, really cool, is basically allows you to skip puzzles if you get a little bit stuck or if it's a little bit more challenging in this kind of case. And so the game takes you about, maybe I would say, maybe 3 to 4 hours to play it safely. So one of the cool things in this one is also pretty interesting, is that you have this, which is similar to what detectives actually use, is basically where you have the evidence and you try to see how they piece together. Like they ask you who the villain is, so they ask you some of the evidence, and once you get it, and then they basically you need more. They'll let you know. So your phone will flash that's over on your right hand side, and that'll let you know that there's evidence that you need to add into your evidence board. So that was one of the cool things that stood out to me from this particular game. The other game that I played, which was kind of interesting as well, was Crimson Crime Secrets Crimson Lily. That one was a pretty fun one as well. So let's go to that one. And so this one, you're playing as a detective who's on vacation, and basically your job is to figure out who did this murder in this one and stuff like that. So basically, there's a lot of things you have to do. You have to change things around. It gives you a hint, and then sometimes you have to move the equipment around in order to find what you're looking for. Sometimes you have to go to locations multiple times, and so that's pretty interesting the way they do that as well. Another thing that stands out to me is the this one. It didn't have too many achievements, but basically it stood out where you had to do work with chemicals in this kind of case. You had to work with the fuse boxes. You had a formula in here that could freeze things, or it could also, if you did it correctly, you could also create a defrosting potion, which would help you at the very end of the game and stuff like that. So that was definitely something special for sure. The other one that I tried out a little bit of, which before I got a little tired of that one, but it was still was really good, was the Secret Bunker. Let's see if I can pull that one up. So basically, it starts out where you're trying to rescue your girlfriend who's been kidnapped, basically. And I did a little bit of that one, and so that one was kind of interesting as well. So basically, you are exploring like these different bunker areas. There's certain areas where you have to, with the puzzle, you have to basically flood or unflood the area so you can go into the tunnels and you can find your way around there. Sometimes it was not very clear on what they wanted you to do because they'd say, I can't do anything else in this location. Sometimes you had to go to the locations multiple times, which was pretty interesting in that kind of case. The one I could not get to install in this one, unfortunately, was the invasion one. But the 3 out of the 4 out of here that I did play, which I actually played a little of the bonus one as well. So that was kind of interesting. I mean, like I said, it stood out to me, and it was very, very special to learn how these games are done. So I really, really recommended these games. Like I said, if you ever get a chance to buy this particular pack, or if you get to buy the 3 that I was mentioning, Crime Secrets, Crimson Lily, or if you get to do the Enignmatis one, that's a really good one. That's a 3-part story that's really, really well done. There's also the Secret Bunker one. That one's pretty good too. Like I said, I really recommend this one. This one stood out to me because some of the puzzles, sometimes you don't always want to look for the hidden objects, and so you get a little bit like tired of looking for the hidden objects. So it gives you the option to look for 2 matching objects, like, and the one with the Enignmatis one, you had to match like a pair of feet with with a pair of shoes, or you had to match footprints with a finger, or eyes with binoculars. So basically, that was pretty cool the way they were very interactive with that. So this one is really, really good. Like I said, I give it an 8 out of 10. This one really stood out to me because, like I said, it had achievements. The story was really well done, even though some of them are a little bit darker in tone and stuff like that. But I definitely recommend it. I highly suggest people check them out. And like I said, I have more coming. I have a whole box beside of me that I'm going through little by little. I just downloaded the next pack that I'm going to start on, which one is the Grand Facade. So, like I said, I'm doing a little bit at a time, trying to spread that out. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. And yeah, this is Alysia, the female half of the Dream Time team, and I will see you guys next time.